Hey everyone, welcome back to another MeWe podcast episode. Today, we have Representative Daryl Campbell from the Florida House of Representatives, representing District 99. So, hi Representative, how are you doing today?
How you doing? It's a pleasure to be on, and it's a pleasure to talk to your viewers.
Same here as well. So, first, tell us a bit more about your experience as a mental health professional. Now, I know that you mentioned to me before that you are a therapist. So, what issues have you seen, or what kind of problems have you seen surrounding mental health in general in society?
Um, you know, Being a mental health therapist, you see a lot of things. For me, I'm a licensed clinical social worker, so um, seeing individuals that are struggling with mental health and trying to figure out a plan for them has been quite a unique experience. In this time period that we're in, what you're seeing an increase in mental health issues, people reaching out,
Mhm.
um, high rates of suicide ideations and things of that nature. You're also seeing it become prevalent in younger generations as well. Which is also interesting to see the increases from. The great thing about all of this is that you're seeing more conversation being generated and being had about recognizing what is one experiencing and how does one seek help. And so you're seeing lots of people really reaching out, having more conversations, which is helping to breaking the stigma, which is one of the biggest things that as a therapist myself, I enjoy doing is breaking the stigma, because the first thing before I sit down with anybody, I sit down to really explain to them what is what is therapy, and we break that idea of, oh, I'm gonna come on this couch, kick my feet up and tell you all about my life, and then I'm off to the races. And it's not that at all.
Hmm. Yeah, and we absolutely agree with the whole bit about stigma. In fact, one of our missions is also to break stigma, and so we try to do that through social commentary, bringing like different stories so that people can empathize and know that hey, like they aren't in it alone. And so, basically, on that topic of stigma, I know that you mentioned that through sparking conversations, we can kind of break it. Maybe what are some other ways that we can do, like for example, I'm a normal person, right? I don't have a degree in like providing mental health services. How else can I help break the stigma? Maybe help out a friend who is currently going through a situation right now.
Awesome, man. I'm happy you asked that, because one of the things that I explain to everybody is that, you know, everybody has a mental health issue, like has something dealing with mental health. And I explain it this way. You'll wake up one day you'll feel good. The next day you may not feel good. You may feel sad or mad or angry, and your moods may fluctuate throughout the day, momentarily. Doesn't stay like that. Something may trigger it to go a different direction. But you recognizing that you're happy, mad, sad, glad, is part of you understanding and being okay and learning the mental health aspect of it. The issue that comes around is when individuals ignore those telltale signs of where they're at, and that tends to be the start of a process of development where that mental health issue becomes a mental illness. And
Hmm.
so everybody has a mental health problem, a mental health issue at some point in time. Whether you're happy all the time, whether you're sad all the time, where you're mad, you name it, we all go through those days, and we got to figure out how to work through those. For people who are not well versed in this field, I always say, having a conversation, sometimes little things help with that, saying hi,
Hmm.
how are you doing, checking in on somebody. A simple phone call goes a long way in letting somebody that they are either friends with, that they love, then showing that you care, because at the end of the day, folks are concerned about not being alone. They want everybody wants to know that you're cared for, that somebody out there that is thinking about them, and even shooting a text, say, hey man, I know I saw that you had a bad game. I'm thinking for you. I'm praying for you. Little simple things like that. And so, one of the biggest things that we have to recognize as human beings is that we are social creatures.
Mhm.
We do not function being by ourselves. We need that social communication, that social aspect to our life. Whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, you need at some point that social interaction. You can't be an introvert for the whole entire time. You need
Mhm.
some type of social aspect. You can't be an extrovert the whole entire time. You need some time to recharge. And so
Mhm.
it's that concept of just doing the little things. It doesn't take much to go a long way. Some saying something as opening and holding a door, saying thank you, it helps, and it really does do a number. I remember when I was a kid in high school around your age, wasn't too long
Mhm.
ago, and I remember going into a McDonald's and I opened the door and I smiled and said hi, and here you go and you're welcome, and the lady said that my smile and what I did for her made her day. And at the time, I was like, man, ma'am, I just opened the door, but there was no telling what she may
Mhm.
have been going through right at that moment.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's always the little things that add up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned about like taking a look at different signs, like when people ignore the signs that they might be going through something. Can you like maybe walk us through about what would be like typical signs to kind of like again that scenario, like let's say I have a friend who maybe like feels that they're under the weather, but they don't exactly know what's going on. Like what are the different signs that maybe I should look out for to maybe help them get the right resources or the right treatment?
Absolutely. So some of the signs in, recognizing when somebody is going through, first, it could be a friend. If it's your friend, and it's a good friend, when, you kind of got a sense of their moods. You're around each
Hmm.
other so much, you can already tell. You can see that their body language seems slumped. They might look disheveled. They might not look like themselves. Their face may look frown. They may not be acting like themselves. They're doing things out of the ordinary. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Taking risky behaviors. They're more prone to take take risks that are, more or less life threatening risks.
Hmm.
They're using drugs, they're expanding those types of things and doing stuff that they wouldn't ordinarily do. Those are really telltale signs when you see things out the ordinary. For somebody that may not know a person, you can just see just from any type of body language.
Hmm.
I've been around this for a lot of times. A lot of times there are people that are based off of feeling, and so you can feel somebody's energy in their presence in the space, and how they may be negative and bringing down a conversation that might be upbeat or hopeful, or destroying the mood or the tempo of the classroom,
Hmm.
or the group circle that's in. And so those are usually the telltale signs. There, another sign that is subtle that people that are not prone to aware of is when they quit things that they love to do. And it's like if they love to play football and they choose, I'm not playing football no more, I quit, or I quit
Hmm.
playing basketball and give up everything. Those are the telltale signs that somebody's going through it. Of course, if you see somebody staying by themselves a lot more often and not being around folks, and it's also another sign as well. So those are the little subtle signs that you try to keep eye of as a friend and as somebody who's being attentive to individuals that enter your presence.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you for all of that information. all those signs, they're really helpful. And so now I guess I want to like kind of take the discussion towards your role more as a legislator, right? So you are a representative in the Florida House of Representatives. So what exactly have you seen or what insight have you gained about the mental health like crisis or maybe especially for youth in the state of Florida as a legislator?
Well, for me as a legislature, you're always constantly looking at yourself, as far as when it occurs with mental health. We as legislators, we deal with a lot. We're balancing our personal life, we're balancing our careers, and we're also being legislators. A lot of people don't know that this is a part-time position for us. This
Mm-hmm.
is only part of it. This I like when people ask me, "What do you do?" I tell them, "Look, I'm a therapist. I'm a mental health therapist. Got the people struggling with mental health issues. Unless they actually, start to dive in depth about all the things that I'm doing in my career. But I try to keep it simple because this is something that I
Mm-hmm.
do on the side, for service. I'm a public servant. And so taking care of that, it can be taxing, can be very quite emotional. So learning to take time away from all of that is going on, all the bills that you read, and the sleepless nights that you get,
Mm-hmm.
and then also leaning on your colleagues as well is also important because no matter what you think, I'm only one of 120 members in the House,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't. My vote alone cannot get a bill crossed.
Yeah.
Can't get the bill crossed, but if I get others on board, that will help to see the importance of this and help to raise the awareness and push the bill across. And so, as legislators, we're as a legislator, I'm focused on my mental health and making sure that I'm practicing what I'm preaching
Mm-hmm.
with my clients, with my staff, and my team, letting them know that you need to take care of yourself first so that you can be able to take care of others as far as what we do here, for the state. As a legislator and voting on a lot of these issues that are important to the state, where you're constantly looking at how does this impacts an individual,
Mm-hmm.
from the ground level up. So how does it impacts the individual? How does it impact their family? How does it impact the community? What's the overall goal? If I look down if I look back 10 years from now, is this going to help Florida, or is it going to take Florida down a path that will impact individuals' mental health? And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I bring to the table and how I look at each issue, with scrutiny and making sure that that an individual's mental health, an individual's mindset, how does that impact the overall synergy and the overall connection, for Floridian, no matter the age.
All right. Well, that sounds like a great level of analysis to me. And I think it is really important. So thank you for all of the work that you do as a public servant and making all the legislations to make Florida a better place for us. And so I guess I want to end off with this last question. So you're a therapist, you're also a legislator. So what are some tips or maybe resources that you recommend for not people only in Florida, but anyone in general, anyone tuning in? What are some tips or resources that you recommend that maybe we should do or take in our daily lives?
Absolutely. One of the things that I tell folks is take time for yourself. It's important. You need a break. You can't be on 24/7. I'm not on 24/7. As you know, we were joking prior to getting on on the Zoom, but you got the opportunity to see that I was leaving from one meeting, hopping to another, and it's like, hey, you just constant movement. So you gotta take time and
Mhm.
stop and enjoy the present moment. Allow yourself that time to build up. You want to make sure that you're getting adequate sleep. Sleep is so important. It helps with the mind, helps with your attitude and the way you look at things, and how you pivot when something doesn't go your way, because it's easy to fall into the negative when things don't go your way. It's easy to fall into the negative when things are going your way. So
Mhm,
you want to keep a mindset of positivity. You also want to also watch out, what are you eating? You want to intake healthy foods that help stimulate your mind, that keeps your body going. Because it's 24 hours in a day, and usually 9 hours or 10 hours of that day, you're up and running, and sometimes with no breaks. So
mhm,
learning to take breaks and have those moments to eat in something healthy, and then also doing something active.
mhm,
You want to do something active. You want to stay in shape. You want to work out, go to the gym. Pick up basketball, go for a walk, read. Just find yourself engaging and not doing things by yourself. Having a friend group, having somebody surrounding you, and doing
mhm.
all that. You don't. Like I said earlier, we're social human beings, so taking time out to be with friends and family and those that you love and those you care about, and dipping into your passions allows for that synergy of self-care that one is looking for to be prosperous in their own personal lives.
Right. Well, sounds good. Thank you for all the tips. And with that, looks like we're at the end of our session today. So thank you so much for joining today. And thank you for all of those who are tuning in and listening to these tips. And thank you so much, Representative.
Absolutely, man. Anytime, and I'm so happy that we got a chance to link up, and I hope everybody who's watching this takes sole advantage of it, because it's very important. And for you to do what you're doing, man, it's amazing, and that's why I couldn't stop but say yes, and jump on and put down everything to bless you, because what you're
Thank
doing
you.
is such needed at that level. So appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And with that, have a nice day, everyone.
All right.